Introducing a stallion, as top class as they come. In 22 career starts, he won or placed in 12 graded stakes, competing in 15 grade ones, earning over $1.7 million. His undisputed speed is evidenced by 7 100-plus buyer speed figures, a 3-time Grade 1 winner, Raging Bull.
Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, taking a look back at the Kentucky Derby Prep Recap presented by Gainesway. Now we're going to look at the Grade 3 Withers at Aqueduct, going 1 1/8 over a sloppy track. We break from the gate. Keep an eye on the number 9 early voting, because 5 strides out, Mike, you could stick a fork in the rest of this field. They're done.
Yeah, this horse actually went pretty fast early in this race. Obviously, the plan from Jose Ortiz right from the gate was to go to the front. This horse broke very well. He did not rate this thing around the first turn, getting clear. And it's interesting right here, Dan, because you have a couple of horses and a couple of horses who took a little money in here too, try to come up after early voted on the lead as they exit the first turn. And Jose Ortiz is having none of it. He says, if you guys want to be forward, you're going to chase. You're not going to contest it with me. And those two horses really pay the price.
It's a very good point. And the speed is easy. Courvoisier is a promising horse. He is on a hard chase right now. And Constitution Lawyer, who is expected to be forwardly placed, stepping up off a maiden win at the distance over a wet track of his maiden win, he just can't get close. He's finished right now.
Yeah, I mean, he ran an 85 buyer break in his maiden. But yeah, you're right. He was done very early in this race, did not hack the step up in class at all in here. And now it's just a situation, Dan, where after early voting has gotten the chasers taken care of, it's just a question of, will he go on and, will these closers come and get this horse? And it feels like, to me anyway, the closers certainly had their chance to come get him. None of them were close to good enough, because right about this point, early voting's not really finding anything else, Dan. He's a pretty tired horse, but nobody is able to make a race of it.
He just has too big of a lead. We saw a couple of moves from Gilded Age. We see Onoho, who's coming from dead last to get up for second, but early voting is still clear. And you're right, he is tired right now, and he should be tired. He worked so hard in the early part of this race. It's only his second lifetime start. It's his first race around 2 turns. He's going a demanding 1 1/8, and he still wins clear under the wire. Now, I guess we have to address the elephant in the room. The race came back kind of slow from a buyer's standpoint, only a 78, certainly paling in comparison to the 2 other buyer's speed figures earned in prep races over this weekend. But this horse is so lightly raced, Mike, that you can project a lot of improvement down the road, can't you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, listen, it's not the kind of race that's going to get you all fired up to follow early voting down the Derby trail, at least at this point. But you're right. I still feel like he's probably the horse you want out of the race. Just his second career start. He looked really good breaking his maiden. He did go fast early in this race. It's just a really hard kind of situation to get a real read on, Dan. Every single fraction of this race was at least a full second slower than the one that preceded it. The final 3/8 and 41 and 3, and nobody really did anything. It kind of feels like this victory had way more to do with the competition than it did with anything else.
You're right. Fast early, slow late. This is the definition of it. Let's talk about some of the also-rans. Constitution Lawyer, again, he got the wet track he wanted. He drew the inside post. He just was no match for early voting, and a drop in class is in order.
Yeah, he just wasn't good in this race. They tried to, take the race to the favorite early. It was not happening, and he was all done already on the backstretch. He did not run well in here. He showed enough potential early on that you don't just want to toss him away, but he certainly needs a drop in class for now.
Now, horses like Courvoisier and Cook Creek, while they didn't necessarily run well, Courvoisier was put on a hard chase and he tired. Cook Creek had a lousy post position and never really got into it. Don't they just have the built-in excuse, though? It's a muddy track. They deserve at least one more opportunity.
I mean, I guess. I mean, listen, they're 2 horses that had come into this race in pretty good form, but at the end of the day, they were both slow on the way in, and they're even slower on the way out. And they obviously both have that distance question to answer still as well, Dan. So do they get another chance? Yeah, certainly. Why not? It's very early yet, but neither one of them ran very well in here.
Can we project slight improvement next time, however, for Gilded Age, the third place finisher? He made a mid-race move and then he flattened out. It was his first start of the year. I can see him take a step forward, and I'm not willing to completely write him off at 9 furlongs just yet.
Yeah, me either. I could certainly give this horse another chance. He actually took a lot of money in this race. And he is the one, you're right, he was way at the back of the pack early. But he actually made an earlier move than just about everybody else. He was into second at the top of the stretch, and he just finished evenly. He's still very lightly raced with some pedigree. I could give him another chance. Even the fourth place finisher, Grantham, he was up close early in this race, did a lot of chasing in here, still held on for fourth. I don't know how good he is, but it's not like his race was a total disaster in this spot.
No, I agree. Grantham's one of the also-rans that I would take out of this race because he was relatively close to the pace and he wasn't giving a ton of quarter in the stretch. As for Unhoho, a 28-1 shot, he just got the setup he wanted and was a non-threatening second. A good performance. It moves him on to the next round. Now he needs to prove that he's not a pace-dependent one-run closer.
Yeah, exactly. And he's got to prove that he can run a fast race as well. Listen, give a lot of credit to Trevor McCarthy for the ride on this horse. So just took him back to last, sat there, didn't lose a ton of ground around the turn, and rallied to get second.
As for early voting, we'll take a closer look at him right now. Only 2 starts, 2 wins. His career debut was a 1-turn mile over a fast track at Aqueduct. He showed good speed that day. He's a little bit of a grouch behind the gate. He sometimes can be a little green before they get in, but he does have a lot of early speed, and boy, does he have pedigree. He's by Gun Runner out of a Tis Now mare. Now we got to learn to ration his speed, and now he's going to have to just run faster.
Yeah, we'll see if he can do it. I won't be surprised if he does. And listen, maybe his faster races down the line will come over shorter distances. That's certainly a possibility. But he did some good things in here, despite the 78 buyer, Dan. It's just his second career start, going 9 furlongs on a wet track. As you mentioned, he has tons of pedigree for top connections. I think there's a chance this horse turns out to be really good, and he deserves one more chance.
Klarovich Stables spent $200,000 on this one as a yearling, and he is undefeated from 2 lifetime starts. Early voting on the Derby Trail in New York. Let's take a look at the prices. No surprises here for the backers of early voting. The favorite paid $460. Unoho makes your exotic $17 to place. Gilded Age, sort of a big flattened performance. I think can do better next time out. 9.84 in the Grade 3 Withers, and early voting earned points for the Kentucky Derby.